On the left here, I have Apollo and I went ahead and searched for e-commerce stores that are hiring. I got 43,000 results, and these are the exact same results that everyone using Apollo has. And on the right here, I built my own tool that finds information online, vets in real time that these companies are actually hiring. And as you can see here, we already have 25 lines written. And if I scroll down here, you can see we have some references that confirm that these companies are actually hiring. That's the whole difference between a lead and a list. So let me show you how I actually did this. To get started, we'll go to this page called websets.exa.ai. After this, simply go ahead and create an account. So come here to your plan and usage, create an account, and you can also get the free trial for 7 days. As you can currently see, I'm on a free trial. This is more than enough for what we are going to do. So once you have the free trial and everything is good, to get your API key, simply go to dashboard.exa.ai. Here you can see. So in here, you can just come and get your API key. So we'll need this API key in all the prompts that we are going to use. So I'll just go ahead and copy this. Now here in my Antigravity workspace, I have several tools. I'm not going to break down how to get set up with Antigravity because that's pretty simple. You simply go to their website, create an account, get everything started, download the app, whatever you need, right? We're actually here to talk about the system and the tools that we are going to build. So all the setup is completely out of our scope. So in here in Antigravity, so once you have Antigravity installed, so you can come here to extensions and download Claude Code. As you can see here, just make sure you're downloading the correct Claude Code. As you can see, this has around 35 million downloads. So after downloading it, it will be added here on the left panel. So simply click it, Claude Code, and you have this session here. So just go ahead and create a new session. I'll go ahead and delete this and create another session and just drag and drop this here so we have it separated. In this video, I'm going to use two different agents for two different things. So the first one, let me just make sure the settings are okay. So I'll go ahead and choose the model and I'll go ahead and leave effort at high. Same here on the second agent, Opus 5 at high. So the first agent is where we are going to set up exa.ai. So I'll come to the first agent and paste my prompt. As you can see, it's a pretty detailed prompt. And here we have our exa API key. So for the prompt, when I'll provide the prompt, we have a placeholder here. So you'll simply need to replace the placeholder with your actual API key here. So as you can see here, this skill is telling the agent to build a Claude skill that finds company by movement, not attributes, using exa AI. And we are going to be using the websets endpoint. And this keeps the list alive with an exa monitor. So it's not just like a dead list that we're going to have and it will sit in our spreadsheet. No, we're actually going to have a monitor that will pull information in real time. So we have all the scope here for the API request. You have the criteria, some information about the monitor and all that. So I'll provide this prompt for you guys to have it. While this runs, let me come here to the second agent and put my second prompt. So for the second prompt, we are going to build the live dashboard for the results that we'll get from exa. So this is just to have something more visually appealing because we don't just want to sit in spreadsheets all the time, right? So this will allow us to have something that is way more interesting. So just go ahead and send these two and the agent will start working. So as you can see, both of them are currently running. So let's just give them a little bit of time to actually set everything up. Just one thing that I also wanted to mention. So we are telling the agent to read the skill creator.md file, which is a Claude skill directly from Anthropic, which tells an agent or a model how to create a skill. So if you don't know what a skill is a set of instructions that the agent has in the backend and it triggers whenever something related to that skill is mentioned in the chat. So back to the chat. As you can see, both of them are still running. So here we have it. The skill agent just finished building the skill and we have all the information here. So we have the skill.md file and all the files that come with it. So right now I'm going to make the search, which is e-commerce brands that are hiring their first in-house paid media person right now. So I'll go ahead and send this. And since we already have the skill built, the agent will simply call that skill and perform the search. So the skill agent just came back with some criteria. So the first one, the moment, part one, the role is open now, and it prompts us with some question. So simply hit keep it strict as it's the recommended option here. So simply hit it. Where should these brands be? Let's just say United States. How many rows on the first run? So let's just play with 25 since this is a demo. When will the monitor check for new? Let's just do Mondays at 8 a.m. and start. So the agent got back to us again, asking for some more approval. So it says ready to spend on your eyes. So the campaign is US e-commerce paid media hire is the name. We have the query, which is direct to consumer e-commerce brands in the United States selling their own physical products. We have the count and the entity, which is company, of course. And we have the three criteria that will be sent here. So I'll just say, yes, everything looks great. Go ahead and make the search. Boom, and send it. So as you can see here, it says website live. So I'll just go to the dashboard and make sure the website is actually live. So we were here at billing. So let me just go back. Websites. As you can see here, we have it. DTC, direct to consumer e-commerce US. So let me just click it to see what we have. As you can see here on the right corner, we have the criteria that we send, and Exa is currently sourcing for these companies. As you can see here, some of them match, some are unclear, and some miss the criteria. So Exa will go ahead and find all the companies that match all these three criteria at once. And of course, it will provide reference to why these companies match the criteria. So let's just let it run for a bit. As you can see here, back to the workspace, we have a notification saying that the website was made, and now we are waiting on the completion. So one important note here, since all these companies are online and Exa is looking for information that is online only, some criteria may be too specific for us to have information online. We should make sure to kind of find the middle ground whereby we are getting good companies and that the criteria are also in line with what is actually available online. So as you can see here, we have a lot of companies that passed the third criteria, but most of them miss the first and the second criteria. So in case these criteria are too specific and we do not get enough companies, we are going to rerun the same search with broader criteria. Right now, I see we already analyzed 69 companies and none of them passed. So I'll just go back to the agent and tell it to make another search since the current search is not getting any results. So I'll just type here, the current search is not getting results, meaning the criteria are too specific or too detailed. Make another search with broader criteria so that we can get more results. So just go ahead and send this. While this runs, if you're new to the channel, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel because I'll be making more related content. So here the monitor agent just got back to us and it built the monitor and it's running in our local host. So I'll simply go ahead and copy this and come back to go to my browser and search it. So if you don't know what localhost is, this is basically a website or a port in the internet that is only accessible through your computer. So if you go ahead and search this right now in your computer, it will say error because this is only on my machine. So this allows you to test websites before actually putting them on the internet. So as you can see here, it says no monitor found for this owner. So we are going to wait a bit because the website is still running. So now the Exa skill agent got back to us again and is asking a few questions. What you give up in first in house. I'll just say go since I don't want to read this, it's too long, and I think it's actually good. I mean, first, so it will drop first in house, it's no longer proven since this is like too specific. So it will drop it and yeah, it will go ahead and make the search. So as you can see here, status, it's running, right? As you can see, status running. So we'll just go ahead and wait. So back to Exa. So let's just go back to Exa and see if the new website search is going well. So as you can see here, we have the new search up here. Let me just open it. So now we only have two criteria, which is a little bit less specific. So this allows us to have more companies. As you can see here, we have the first company. It already matched on both criteria and the search is continuing. So the skill agent just got back to us confirming that the new criteria is working and that we have one item found out of 53 analyzed. This is still not good enough. So I'll just go ahead and say this. This is still not good enough because we only have one item out of 53 analyzed. So make another search that is way broader than what we made earlier. So I'll go ahead and send this. And here in the monitor chat, I'll simply go ahead and make a prompt so that once we get the leads or once we get the companies in the monitor, we have a prompt that creates very personalized email copies that we can then send to these people. And of course, they'll be very specific. So I'll just go ahead and paste the third prompt. So here, let me just scroll up so I can show you guys. So it says runs after the website has rows. The fragility is the whole design problem and the client distrusts the other 29. So this prompt is built to refuse rather than fill quota. So as you can see, then we have a few details here. So I'll just go ahead and send this and to maybe ask for some questions or wait for more input. So here it says, what does it say actually? Let me just scroll up here. So criterion 1 no longer requires the words in the job. Okay, what this costs you? Okay, stated one. So okay, I'll just go ahead. Okay, run it. So just to make sure, now coming here back to exa.ai, as you can see, only 2 matched out of 165. And at this rate is actually not worth it, right? So that's why I made another search. So I entered the search. So it made the third search because we are playing around with the criteria here just to make sure we are actually getting something good. And yeah, it says run 3 is live. It gave us the website ID and it's pulling the information. Once any of these websites is done with information, I'm going to simply paste the information here in the monitor and it will run everything. So back to Exa, we have the third search here. So for the third search here, 2 criteria also, but we already had 50 analyzed and still 0 results, which is very bad. And I think the reason is that my prompt is actually too detailed because I asked for e-commerce brands that are hiring their first in-house paid media person. So I think I'll just go ahead and change the search in general to something more realistic. So I'll just go ahead and type this. So the searches are too specific. So I want you to simply look for e-commerce stores in the US that are hiring in general. So it can be any role. So I think this prompt is way easier to work with. So I'll just go ahead and send this. So the agent just got back to us again. Run 4 is now live and pulling. So now here in Exa, you can see we have already 20 results out of 59 analyzed, which is good, right? And this is for the fourth run, and it's already something that we can work with. And while it runs, I'll simply go back to the agent and ask all the information. So for the fourth run, give me the website ID and all the information needed for these results to be pulled into the monitor. So just go ahead and send it. So my camera just backed there for a little, but what I did is that I simply copied all this information and pasted it in the monitor agent, and the monitor agent was going through some debug and it will show the results shortly. One thing that I also noticed is that we set up two agents with very specific tasks, but the agent on the left, which was tasked to only build the configuration with the platform that we are using, in this case, which is Exa, this agent allowed itself to verify the results that we are pulling from Exa. And then on the other hand, the agent that was tasked to only build the monitor or the dashboard also allowed itself to double check the results that we are putting in the monitor. And to be honest, I actually like this because it allows us to kind of have a multi-layer verification across the whole system with the idea of making sure that we are getting qualified information in our monitor. And I'm referring to this as a monitor, but you can refer to it also as dashboard. So as you can see, it's rebuilding, restarting, and verifying the pinned monitor. So as you can see here, monitor ID isn't reaching the module, so it will do some debug, which is good, right? It finds errors and it solves these errors all by itself. So now we are just waiting for the results to be showed in our monitor. So let me just go back and try to refresh our monitors to see if you have anything good. Okay, you can see here could not reach the server and it's now loading. So as you can see here in our live monitor, we have all the information that we need. So we have the company and the date it was sourced. So right here we have Sniff, for example, Allbirds, and Serena and Lily. And we also have the information, the website also, so we can kind of go and verify this information. And on the right here we have the matched criteria, right? So we have 25 results in total, as you can see here, which is already good. So let me just go back to the agent and see what we have. So it's still running. Let's just wait a bit and see how it ends up. So here we have the agent that is actually taking some pictures of the monitor and it's analyzing in real time. As you can see, for example, here live/a.png, which represents an image. So it's done. It's getting back to us with some information. So the dashboard is live at the local host with your real 25 rows. And here is what pulling the data actually revealed. Okay, a bunch of information. The monitor has not run yet. Okay, the evidence will not support stage 2. Okay, what else do we need? Still outstanding for the body, unchanged. What to sell to these companies, the sender name, and whether next week is relevant to draft or send the date. Since this is a demo, I'll simply ask it to write the emails and show it on the monitor. So here's the message I sent. So now let's just wait a bit. As you can see, it also flagged some errors. For example, takealot.com is South African, not US. So the geography lives in the query as a soft steer, so it leaks. This is not a problem because we are actually verifying all this later, right? This is just to give you the idea that you don't need to use Apollo to get leads because everyone is getting the same leads, right? So here you can actually differentiate yourself and you can have some real-time information to base your analysis on. So one important note to mention here is that the skill improves itself over time. So as you can see here, it says the skill learned two things today, both written into the query versus criteria finding in references/criteria.md, and the evidence ranking fix in poll underscore website.py that stops homepage boilerplate from passing as a proof. Next campaign starts from those. As you can see, this is actually good because it learns over time, it corrects its mistake, and it just kind of keeps growing, which is good. So here the monitor agent just got back to us saying that the emails are written and live on the monitor. So just go back to the monitor and refresh it. and boom, here we have it. You can see here it wrote 3 lines. It skipped 22. I'm not sure why it skipped, but we can get into that later. And here we have the template. So it says first line, and then I place fractional e-commerce and retail operators with DTC brands, usually covering the seat while the permanent hire is still in process. Are you free Tuesday 4 or Tuesday 6 August? 15 minutes either day. And it says Pascual is the sign off. It says also here very clearly that it's only the first line variable that varies per row. So, and of course here per row we have the first line. So it says you have a retail sales manager open for the retail sales team, asking for 2 years sales coordinator experience. So cover matters now. And for the second one called All Birds, it says you have director of operations, director of brand team, and head of education and community open all at once. 3 senior seats unfilled today. And that was it. Now you have a monitor which is updated every single Monday with the information that is required on your search, and it works perfectly. It gives you the ready to send emails, and you simply need to go ahead and copy this and paste it into your inbox and send it. That was it for me. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.